Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Daniel Francis. I'm the creator of the Master Your Stutter program. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing the golden rule to success. Who do you listen to? I know this was a big challenge for me growing up, where I was listening to every single person who gave me advice. And I want to tell you that's wrong, and that's going to lead you down the wrong path. So welcome again to the channel. If you're new, please subscribe. Click on that subscribe button. Click on the notification bells. And every time I release a new video, you will get notified so you can become the best speaker that you deserve. So let's get into it. So, I know for myself, growing up, I struggled because of really this concept. And I didn't make it up. This came from multiple mentors that I had, whether it was Kevin Trudeau, whether it was from my last company with Corey, and from many other people that I've worked with. They really pounded this into my head until I was someone that could say it verbatim. And I lived by it. And that's why I appreciate all the mentorship and, everyone who kind of guided myself, because really this can mess up a lot of people. So let me first explain it to you, and then I'll kind of give you some examples. So part one, you only listen to people who have what you want in life. I want you to sit that in your head. Only listen to people that have what you want in life. Now, the second part is, have they been in your shoes? So let's actually give some examples. I always love the good life example at the gym where, again, I had to lose some weight. Enough's enough. I'm sick of just working out and I see no results. So I go to the gym and I go, okay, I talk to the sales manager and I say, hey, listen, I'm a chubby Italian. I've had too much pasta growing up. I just can't do this anymore. I need to fix this. And his face gets red and he gets excited because he's about to make a sale. And I'm like, dude, I am a sale. Let's get it. And then he just telling me, he's like, we're going to get you on the burn phase, the cut phase, the keto phase, this phase, that phase. And I'm like, dude, there's a lot of phases, but I'm excited. And he's like, we're going to do all the stuff and this is going to be all the rates. And I'm like, listen, man, I got the money. I know it's worth it. I'm very disciplined. I got the time and I'm going to do whatever you guys want me to do. I only have one ask. I only want a trainer who looks like the way I want to look like. And I said that and his face got even more red. Because he realized that he did not have the body that I wanted. And, in his opinion or in his eyes, he wanted to lift very heavy weights and he was a power lifter. But he had the gut. He didn't have the body that I wanted. And I didn't try to make that as clear as that, but I basically was like, you're just not the guy for me. And I think he caught the drift of what I was saying. And he's like, damn it. But he's like, no worries. I will get the guy for you. And I'm like, perfect. Because listen, if you're going to give me health advice, if you're going to keep me accountable to whatever goals that I want, you better be able to take off your shirt. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I could have a body like that. The trainer comes in. Big Mike walks in. Right? Walks in. He's like, what's up, Big Mike? And I'm like, that son of a gun? He's like, yep. I'm like, perfect. Where do I sign? Sign me up. Let's go. And I say that example and you might actually laugh, but what I've realized about this concept is you start to apply it in all aspects of your life, because what I realized is when someone is extremely accountable and they're doing exactly what the theory is, then they should have the results. But if they know the theory and they know what they're talking about, but the results say differently, something is flawed in their theory. And that isn't meant to be disrespectful, but it goes into all other aspects. Like, for example, if someone's going to give you communication advice, the first question you got to ask yourself is, does this person sound like the way I want to speak like? So when I first joined network marketing, when I was 20 years old, and I didn't even know what network marketing was. I just joined it naively. I just said, this is cool. I think someone from the frat in my university invited me. And I went to a meeting, and I was struggling with my speech for so long. I couldn't figure it out. And I showed up. It was probably 7:00 at night, and there was all these people around me. Some people were smiling. I didn't know why they were smiling so much. And some people were like, what the hell's going on? And just like me. And this speaker came up, and he gave a presentation for about 40 minutes long. And I was like mesmerized. I was like, oh my God, someone can speak like this, and they're my age. And then he said something that blew me away. He goes, I had a speech impediment growing up. Like, English is my first language. I had a lisp. I was very insecure. I got bullied. And I'm like, wow, crazy. And that I made that connection unconsciously before knowing this, but I found someone who spoke the way I wanted to. I want to speak just like this person. And then what I did is I followed him everywhere he went. I was like his biggest groupie. I would go to his like other presentations, even though I didn't have to be there. I would record them. I would transcribe them. I would get my iPad out at the time. I don't know if people still have iPads, but I had an iPad at the time, and then I would record myself on an iPad, and I would try to sound like him, and I would mimic his body language, his smile, the way he looked. I got a similar haircut, and I started to realize, because he had what I wanted, but he also has been in my shoes. He knows what it feels like. Like, if we go back to the health example, I would never, and no disrespect, I would never go take advice from someone who's been skinny their whole life. They don't have the same genetics as me. They don't understand when you got flubs. They don't understand that they've been skinny. Their challenge is, how do I put on muscle? Not how do I lose weight? So to ask them for advice, and, I started to like dig a little deeper. I'm like, who's giving me career advice? Because when you're 13, 14, 15, everyone's giving you career advice. You should go to this school. You should work this job. You should date these type of people. You should da-da-da. You should da-da-da. And when I was young and naive, I listened to everyone. Well, they're older. And what I want to tell you is, just because they're older doesn't mean they know more. And I had to learn the hard way, because when I started to become more aware of myself, I started to realize, why am I repeating the same mistakes over and over and over and over and over again? Why am I depressed? Why am I unhappy? Why can't I figure this out? Why am I struggling with this? Why am I frustrated? Why am I angry? Well, I'm listening to other people who have similar emotions and similar lives. So it's like, I have my partner, Rachel. I would never go to a single guy and ask him for advice. There's no disrespect with that, but how could that person really give me advice? And when you start to actually master this concept, all the dots start to connect. You start to go, okay, great. I'm going to now focus on finding exactly who has what I want and has been in my shoes. And when you do that, things just connect. You start to become greater. And that's why, if you look at success, success is a repetition. There's fundamentals that you follow. You apply this, you get that. You apply this, you get that. Think about it. Do you know some people that everything they do, they just keep failing? They try something new, and what happens? It doesn't work out. They try something new, it doesn't work out. Where there's other individuals who, it's like they're breeded for success. And I know for myself, like, let's even take YouTube, or let's take recording videos. A lot of people would give you advice of what makes a good YouTube channel.
Bunch of hookers and cocaine.
How to speak well on camera. And you can listen to all this different advice, but what I do, just because I know this formula, I'm only going to one or two different individuals. And I'm mimicking exactly what they do. I don't complicate it. I go, how are they making their YouTube videos? How are they producing their content? How are they actually introducing themselves? How are they dressing? What do they have in the background? And when you start thinking like this, you take the pressure off your back of, I don't need to reinvent the wheel. All I got to do is just continue what someone else has done. And when you do that, life becomes a lot more easier. Again, I always look at my public speaking concept, because this is kind of what I teach. I teach public speaking. And my process is very simple. I found someone who had what I want. So his name was Paul. He was a phenomenal public speaker. Again, I was his biggest fan. I was his groupie. I went to every single meeting. I was like, oh my God, Paul tonight. Everyone's like, who the hell's Paul? Don't worry about it. I like Paul. Paul's amazing. Okay. And I was his biggest, and I was just crazy. I didn't start looking at 50 other TEDx speakers. I just focused on Paul. That's it. Hopefully that doesn't sound creepy, but I loved Paul because he evoked, or whatever the word is, something within me of like, if he can do it, then I can do it. He's also been in my shoes. Perfect. Now I have it. Now what do I do? So then you go, okay, great. How do I mimic Paul? How do I find out, how did he go from who he was to this amazing public speaker in front of 10 people? And that's what I did. So I started to understand Paul. I started to actually question him. Started to become his friend. So it was a little bit creepy at the time, but this is literally what I do with everyone. Whenever I want to learn something, I force myself to become their friend as much as possible. Some people reject it, some people like it. So, and that's what I did. And then I started to learn from Paul, and then it was very simple. I signed up, I showed commitment. Because that's what, if you want to be around people that are successful, you got to find people that there has to be a commitment from your end. There's nothing for free. So what did I do? I signed up. I gave a credit card I didn't have. I think it was my friend's credit card. I signed up and I started to get myself involved within the network marketing company. So I started to do that over and over and over again. And I knew I wasn't good, but I want to speak just like Paul. So what did I do? I recorded all of his speeches like this. Oh my God, this is so good. This is so good, right? And they're like, yeah, man, he's fine. But to me, it was amazing. And then I went home that night and I transcribed the exact presentation word for word for word. Literally, I'd be in my notebook. Okay, pause. Okay, wait, what did you say there? Okay, perfect. And I would literally, and I'm talking about like a 45-minute presentation, to transcribe it word for word is about an hour to an hour and a half, because you want to have exact words in it. So then I would do it, and I would do it. And then I would go through the process of then practicing exactly what he just said, reading off the script. He probably thought I was a lunatic at the time, but I was like, I know, or I can see what other people can't see. So then I would do it. Then I would grab my iPad again, and then I would record myself on camera saying the script word for word for word for word for word. And I'd be like, and then like a quarter way through, I'm like, damn, what was it again? Okay, start all over again and go. And I'm talking about like 75 to 100 times, if not 250 times. Just practicing until I could say the words, until I could confront my blocks, because I would stutter on certain words. Paul didn't block that bad, but I was blocking on the word fluent. So I would do that over and over and over again. And then sooner or later, I was like, I could say it by myself. I sound like him by myself. And then the next step is really taking that character, and that's kind of what I did. I did my first ever presentation. I never wanted to give a presentation in my life because I just kept practicing it. But when you spend time with people who have what you want and been in your shoes, they know your potential because they're doing it as well. So Paul pushed me. He's like, man, the last couple months I've been doing all the presentations. It's time for you to give the presentation. No. People, no one's going to like me. No one's going to sign up, man. No. I can't do this. And we set a date where, I was obviously becoming very successful within the company. And it was my time to give the presentation. But everyone knew that I stuttered. So if we invited everyone over, they wouldn't come for me. They would come for Paul. So what we did is we planned a date where everyone was going to come down. And it was like 10 people on like a Saturday afternoon. And it was at my house. And we said, Paul's coming, everyone. And then they all came over, packed house. Everyone's excited. And then they're like, hey man, great. We're about to start in about a minute. Where's Paul? I go, yeah, Paul's not coming. It's going to be me. And they're like, oh God. Oh no, not stuttering Daniel. And, but I've been practicing for so long. I kept a straight face, even though I was freaking out on the inside. I remember my mom came like 10 minutes before everyone came. She's like, how's everything going? I'm like, Mom, not right now. Not right now, Mom. What's going on? Mom? No. I was just freaking out on the inside. So everyone's downstairs and we're all, surrounded within our, like downstairs in my parents' basement. Everyone's sitting on the couches and I'm about to give my presentation. And I mean, truthfully, I just blanked out. Like 40 minutes kind of passed by and I just blanked. I didn't even know what happened. but all I know is I just said this presentation 250 times. I finally gave it, and I remember I was done. I looked up, and I saw smiles everywhere. Everywhere. Everyone was smiling. I'm like, okay, I think I did it. I think this is good. And then 10 minutes later, hey, Daniel, someone just signed up. Someone just bought. Someone just, I'm like, oh my God. And my world shifted like, oh my God, I can speak in front of other people and they actually want to do it. But before that wasn't real for me. And I say that story, and then things just got better and better and better and better. And I started to speak from, instead of a group of 10, a group of 20, a group of 50, a group of 100, up to 1,000 people. Literally, just step by step by step by step by step. But guess what Paul was doing the whole time? Paul was speaking on, in front of a room of 1,000. That was normal to him. Now let me give you the flip side. What if I never surrounded myself with a Paul? Or surrounded myself with someone who just talked the talk all the time, who never actually did anything, who said, yeah, we're going to do this, this, and this. You think they would have pushed me? You think I would have had the inspiration? Of course not. So the golden rule to success, this is in life. This is just everything you do in life. If you're struggling with a certain aspect of your life, if it's health, go find someone who's healthy. Go pay for their help. Go work with them. Go be their friend, dude. Go put in your sweat equity so you can start being around that individual. If you want to better your speech, perfect. Who are you hanging around with? Are you hanging out with people that have what you want? If the answer is no, bye-bye. Relationships. If you want a relationship with a partner, but all your friends are single, you might struggle a little bit, dude. You might struggle, right? And, if you want good marks in school and you're surrounded with people who are barely getting by, that's a problem. If you want to make more money at your job and you're in sales and you're hanging out with complainers, are there someone in your company, like that's what I did in sales. I found myself near people that were making $100,000 and I said, what are you guys doing? And that's where Adrian, who was very successful, I just mimicked his presentation. So I really want you to get this idea, because when you start to apply it, you find people that have what you want. So this is the question that I'm going to ask you right now. Where are you struggling in your life? What do you want to improve on? Who has what you want? And the second part, have they been in your shoes? So if they haven't actually experienced the same pain, it's very hard for that person to give you advice. It's like, someone who doesn't have a stutter telling you, I know how it feels like. Yeah, do you though? Right? And I get that there's a lot of trainers and speech therapists who don't stutter that do phenomenal work and they got amazing intentions. I get that. But I'm saying just as a whole, the best thing you could do is once you find this individual, you lock in and you mimic, you model, you go crazy. Yeah! Next thing you know, weeks, months, years go by, you're a completely different person. So I really hope that makes sense. This is the golden rule. This is one rule that you want to live by, your one commandment that is on your board. It's who do I listen to in life? When you find the right person, you will become exactly who you want to be. So again, thank you very much. My name is Daniel Francis. I'm the creator of the Master Your Stutter program. So if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, click that notification button, and I'll see you in the next video.